Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be giving you my review of the movie Tag. Alright, so the movie, oh, by the way, this content contains major spoilers for the movie Tag. So this movie is about a group of men who play tag, a 30-year game of tag, in the month of May. And the idea is that there's a quote in the film. It says, "We don't stop playing because we grow up. We grow up because we stop playing." And so the film is supposed to explore this idea of how play affects our age and how we live and how age affects us, right? So here's my review of the film. This is a 0 out of 5-star movie. And the reason for that is 3/4 of the way into the film, there is a multi-character, multi-scene, extended series of jokes about miscarriage. There was like a one-liner on miscarriage, and then I was like, wait, what's happening? And so, I watched through, and like I said, so what then came is a multiple character, multiple scene series of jokes about miscarriage, right? And so as soon as this happened, it ejected me emotionally and intellectually from being a viewer of a movie, and suddenly I was just a person sitting in a dark room with bright images on a screen, and I was no longer thinking about any of the characters, and all I could think about was the writer, the director, the producer, and the actors that all interacted with this screenplay and said, you know what our comedy movie about a child's game needs? It needs a multiple character, multiple scene, extended series of jokes about miscarriage. And then all of those people were like, yeah, that's what we should do. All of them agreed to do this together. And so here's my take on this. So we live in a civilization, and so essentially we have all agreed to preserve civility, right? And with saying that, we're saying there is etiquette, and there's agreed upon behaviors, and there are things that we are agreeing to say. Saying as a civilization, we're saying we're going even beyond laws. We all accept that we're not supposed to harm each other physically, but also there's a short list of things that will harm other people emotionally and intellectually. And as a civilization, we recognize that. We recognize that human beings can be harmed emotionally and intellectually, right? And people in this world experience miscarriages either directly or indirectly. And when they experience miscarriages either directly or indirectly, the sorrow from that event can be almost limitless. And granted, that sorrow is for a season, and then it's going to reduce it. It never goes away, but it's going to reduce. You won't feel that almost limitless sorrow for forever, but it's going to be there in an intense way for a season, and then it's going to be with you for the rest of your life. So when I was sitting there in this film, having watched a multiple character, multiple scene, extended series of jokes about miscarriage, I said to myself, what happened here? Is this all people who have never been with a person who experienced this? Or are these people who were with people who have experienced this and then said to themselves, yes, this is a valid source for comedy? And to me, we live in a civilization, and that binds each one of us to a responsibility to preserve civility. There are subjects we do not laugh about, and there are accepted behaviors that we are saying we're not going to do these other things. And it's more than just, and because we live in a civilization, it's more than just agreeing not to physically harm one another. We're agreeing to not emotionally and intellectually harm people in ways that will echo pain from years or decades back into their lives. And I was like, who thought that this was that in a movie about tag, this was the content we wanted to include. So I don't understand how this movie was ever made. I don't understand how this got past all these people. Some of the actors and actresses in this I've seen in other works, and I thought the momentum of their careers was saying, I want to build a significant career. Some of the actors and actresses in this I thought were headed toward Oscar level work, right? And this is just so when I saw this, I really felt like what I was seeing is there was a group of people who were saying, I'm going to take my humanity and take it out of myself and put it over here for a period of time, and then tell these jokes, and then I'll go back later and I'll take that humanity and I'll put it back in myself, right? And I think what shocks me is the idea that they think when they go get that humanity and pick it up and put it back into themselves after going in the direction this movie went, that humanity would be the same, that it wouldn't be diminished or fundamentally changed or gone. This is a 0 out of 5. Tag is 0 out of 5 stars. Thank you.